Hey everyone, welcome to the recap of The Walking Dead universe. We are here live every week to discuss the latest episodes. You can catch our episode reviews at any time, available on most major podcast platforms. Get new and past episodes for free in the app of your choice, including YouTube. Today we are covering The Ones Who Live Season 1, Episode 5. For those of you joining us live tonight, thanks for taking time out of your evening to be here. I am your host, Tamara, and I love a good TV show and a good book. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can find me pretty much everywhere at The Recap Pods. And if you're into books, you can also find me at Shelf Addiction. Joining me is show co-host Lisa. Welcome, Lisa.
Hey, Tamara. Hey, everyone. My name is Lisa Orban. I am an author. I am also the founder of Indies United Publishing House, and I love all things pop culture. So if you'd like to connect with me online, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Lisa Orban Author or at Indies United Pub.
Okay, so before we begin, we would just like to let you know we would love your participation in this conversation. So if you're listening live on YouTube, hit us up in the comment section. If you're catching this on a replay, you can still comment on YouTube or Spotify, or you can even leave us a voicemail using the SpeakPipe link in the show notes. If you are new to the podcast, we are laid back in our review style, right, Lisa?
Absolutely, Tamara. This is a conversation, not a dissertation.
No scene by scene breakdowns here. We jump around a lot. And of course, huge spoiler alert for everything across every show in the world through yesterday's episode. So if you're good with that, this is the place for you and we should jump in it. Now, for those of you listening live, we may have a little bit of audio issues. So if you can't hear Lisa very well, don't worry. Tomorrow I'm uploading a new version where you can hear her. So if you can't hear her, we're sorry.
Apparently this program hates me is what we've come up with.
Yeah, so come back on YouTube tomorrow and this one will be gone and the new one will be here. Okay, let's jump into it. Episode 5. What did you think?
I liked it.
I liked it too. I was shocked. I'm like, oh my gosh, Father Gabriel. No one had him on a bingo card.
No, I did not. Of all the people we had discussed, Morgan, yep. Maybe, and other people, Father Gabriel was never among them. And that first scene when you saw the helicopter, you saw him look up, all I could think of is, oh crap, they're after Alexandria.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening? I was really confused for a moment. And then I started to think, I'm like, okay, when was the last time we saw him? I was really trying to remember. And I'm like, was he with our group at the end of the season 12?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, so what happened? So now I'm already thinking, and then it made sense later, this is not now. So
yeah. Well, I mean, and he was with the group at the end, what's her name died.
And Rosita.
Rosita. And but he was still around.
Yeah.
So we knew that. But it was kind of interesting to see because her coming back every year on that same day, and Father Gabriel was there faithfully, no matter what was going on. And there was bad stuff because he's even saying, our crops, this, or we've had problems with that. If we could just get, this, that, and the other. So you could see, the progression, as they went down. So,
yeah, actually, I feel like, okay, so we went back 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, it's like trying to keep the timeline straight. So how long had it been since she had come back 3 years ago, since she'd seen him?
Right.
And then she, of course, obviously in the present day, he came and she wasn't there because she was killed.
Yep.
Which was like, oh. Now, I got to ask you this. Did watching these flashbacks with Father Gabriel give you any kind of different feeling or opinion on Jadis/Anne's character?
Honestly, no.
No?
No. I mean, she's she's been an all over the map kind of character. I mean,
Mhm.
let's face it, the first time we were introduced to Jadis, she had her trash can people and she was basically sitting naked doing sculptures, you know?
Mhm.
So, she's gone from that to this hardcore military person. But honestly, while I have liked her character, and I really have actually liked her character, I didn't like the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was thinking back to when her character first showed up, I was like, "Ugh," I was grossed out by her character, to be quite frank. I remember just having this really adverse reaction to her in the
Yeah.
early days, and
She's always had the weird hairstyles too.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
always had strange hairstyles, she's always been quirky, but when she showed up in The World Beyond, I was like, "Oh," I kinda like that we saw her again and again, like, she was the constant through all the shows.
Mhm.
So, I kinda knew, though, honestly, I knew she was gonna die in this episode. I knew it, and I was good with it, um, but seeing the flashbacks did make me, I guess, understand that she was a much more complex character than I wanted to give her credit for.
I mean, I'll give you that. But here's the thing. Jadis even said multiple times, in almost every meeting with Father Gabriel, I have done bad things.
Yes. Mhm.
And
Yep.
she is acknowledging that these things that they are doing are horrible
Mhm.
and they're not right. And yet she is willingly participating in them because again, we're going back to the means justify the ends. And the fact is most of the time the means do not justify the ends.
Mhm.
That's just an excuse humans give each other to do horrible things for a possible future.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, yeah, of course, and she comes well, every time she sits with Father Gabriel, she is clearly in conflict with herself, right?
Hmm.
She doesn't wanna let go of being Anne, but she believes in whatever that echelon secret is. She
Hmm.
believes it wholeheartedly.
Oh yeah.
So,
And again, I'm not saying that it's not possible to get to a brighter future, but you don't you don't make sunshine out of mud.
right. Yeah.
I mean, it's just every bad, horrible thing that any government has ever done has been under the heading of the means justify the ends. We're doing horrible things right now so that later on things will be better. And the fact is I don't know of any society that's ever taken that route that has ended up better in the future. They just go down this dark path and never stop.
True. And essentially, Anne slash Jadis, she says that. She
Yeah.
says you can be what? I can't remember the quote verbatim, so I know it's not going to be verbatim, guys. But basically, you can be a good person or you can look out for the world. You can't be both. You can't be, this upright, good person and not hurt anyone and still save the world. It's sacrifice, basically.
Well,
That's
the
what
thing
she
of it,
thinks.
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, I'm not saying that to build a better future, you never have to do anything bad.
Mhm.
But if all you do is bad, you know, when you're
Yeah.
mowing down entire communities, when you're killing people who want to go home to their families, when you drop mustard gas on people that are just traveling down a road who have no idea that they're not supposed to approach this area.
Mhm.
That's extreme.
Yeah, it is
You know,
extreme.
if you kill someone in self-defense, that can be justified. But when you go out of your way to kill people,
Mhm.
then that's an issue. And they are going out of their way
Mhm.
to kill people.
Right.
They're intentionally hunting down potential leaders in other communities and killing them,
Mhm.
because there might be a threat many generations from now. Oh, shut up.
Right, right.
That again, in my book, it's just an excuse. And I think honestly, Jadis knew it was an excuse. But I think the real reason, more than anything, was there at the very end when she was talking to Rick and Michonne, and she says, I've lost every community. And I think she just desperately wanted something that was stable, that seemed that it could endure. And to her, the CRM could endure because, it did all these bad things, I
Well,
guess.
I mean, honestly, it did endure. Think about it. It did the whole time she was with them, and before that.
Yeah,
They have all these resources that no other group that she's been a part of has had.
right,
Even when we think back to when she and Rick, Rick is better and they're walking around, she's eating fries and talking about the better restaurant,
right,
you know? So
right.
in her mind, this is it.
Right. And again, I'm not saying that being able to eat French fries in a safe environment isn't but the cost of that, is immeasurable
She's
because
definitely a morally very, very dark gray, very dark gray. I don't know if I would classify her as a traditional villain.
she's not a villain. I don't think she's
Yeah.
I mean, there have been times where she has been villainous, don't get me
Yes.
wrong.
Mhm.
Um, some of the shady things that she did when she was first introduced with the trash can people was shady. And things that she did on The World Beyond, let's face it, were shady.
Absolutely,
Um,
yeah.
but as a person, she's not, again, it no person ever makes themselves the bad guy in their own narrative,
No,
and
she thinks she's doing the right thing. She absolutely does.
Mhm. But I do think somewhere deep down inside, she is questioning the things she does because she keeps going back to Father Gabriel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And at the end, she definitely knows what's really right and wrong because what does she do? She tells them where to find the paperwork that she left.
yeah, but again, that still came with a caveat. Please don't hurt the CRM.
I know.
The show went, no, we're going to take him
Exactly.
down.
I mean,
So,
honestly, I can't understand why do Rick and her keep trying to make a deal? Every time they make a deal, it goes left every single time. Like, why are you making deals with her?
well, I think honestly, I don't think it was a true deal. I think they knew that she would double cross, and so
Yes.
it was just a way to better position themselves.
It's like they knew, Michonne and him knew they weren't gonna do a deal, but she thought they were gonna do a deal and I'm gonna whip out my gun on you. And then he's
Right.
like, well, I got something else for you because I didn't believe you either.
Yeah.
So it was a mess. Even
Right.
though I feel like ultimately Rick didn't want her to die. I feel like he wanted to find a way to not kill her. And obviously Michonne was like, no, dude, she has to go the
Right.
whole
Well,
time.
even for all that she has made Rick miserable, she did save his life, and I know he feels that.
Mhm.
And he has seen people throughout the entire community every time when they get the briefing, when they go over to the other side, that transformation. And he's not it's not that he is against the city. It's the methods and the madness of the CRM itself is what he has struggled with. And now that the spell on it has been broken, he knows that this is not, while a very small percentage of the population may benefit, the majority will suffer if the CRM if it continues.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, honestly, Michonne was right at the end. the people in that city, that's not them. That's not what they're doing. They don't know what the hell's going on, to be
No,
honest.
they have no idea.
So, yeah. So if they could just make this huge revelation, and
Mhm.
expose and try to stop them, they can set the CRM, quote unquote, on a different path. They could. Um,
I'm
yeah.
not sure exactly how this is, you know, I'm kind of having notions to oh, what's her name from the final season of The Walking Dead. When they decided we're going to expose her.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of having a little bit of that flavor. I
Hmm.
did, though, I did really enjoy some of the toothpaste.
Oh, that was cute.
Because as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, I remember, and that because that was the first episode that we were introduced to Jesus,
Yeah.
and that whole truck fiasco, and he was out there looking for toothpaste for her.
Yeah, he wanted to get her that toothpaste so bad. And I mean, I guess when you think about it, like, wow, that was season 6, I think. That was so long ago.
Yeah, they did actually quite a few little um flashbacks. The there was a candy bar moment, I think, which was a flashback to her and Carl.
Mhm. He gave
And
her an M necklace that she had before, even
yeah,
though the original M necklace had nothing to do with Rick, but
right.
still, it's an M necklace.
So there's all these, just, I mean, these little, they weren't like rub your nose in it. They were just these little things. And the noodles were funny.
I know, the noodles were kinda funny.
Yeah,
Actually, that whole beginning was so cute. They're playing that song, and it's like, "Oh, look at them. They're having great luck for everything, and
yeah.
they're just eating their noodles and getting pop and killing walkers." It's just like, this is a
But
honeymoon
even
of sorts.
it was,
Yeah.
but then when they meet the three people, she took the noodles away.
Oh my god, the look on his face, he's like, "Really? Really? You're gonna take the noodles?" She's like, "Yeah, they tried to kill us. Yeah, they
That's
don't
right.
deserve noodles. They
That's
don't
right.
deserve them."
When you pull a gun on me, you don't get noodles.
Basically, like, "Look, you lost the privilege of these noodles, okay?"
I don't know why, but I was cracking up. I was just watching her snatch those noodles away.
I
You know?
mean, honestly, there was so much comic relief, like, bits here and there, again, to kinda relieve the, I guess, seriousness of everything, because
Yeah.
even these fools right here, they actually thought they were gonna be able to overtake them, and Michonne is like, do you wanna, like, take that back?" Rick's like, "Yeah, we can wheel this you can just roll this back a little bit, and we can start again." And they're like,
Right.
"No," and they just take them out. They just have them on the ground in 2 seconds.
And then Red's like, can we roll back now?
Yeah.
We're like,
"Can we do it now?"
no,
"No, it's done."
no, we're done. Snatching back the noodles.
Yeah, like, they tried to, like, give him a chance, and it's like, the hilarity of that was just too funny. Like, I think Michonne's face was giving me, like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what is happening? You've gotta be kidding me."
Yeah, she was just incredulous.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Like, look, we try to our instinct is to help people out, and look what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and even when Jadis, um, zip tied him up, she couldn't just kill him because she could have just shot him in their sleep.
Yeah.
And instead, she had to wake him up and zip tie him and do this whole "why I'm right" speech.
Oh my god, though, that scene was actually kinda funny to me, though, like, when she's like, "Wake up, lovebirds," or whatever she
Yeah.
says to them, they jump out that bed, it's so funny. I just kinda laughed, like, again, like, I know this is a serious moment, but I thought it was kinda funny.
Hmm. And like I said, in that whole thing with Jadis and her, oh no, this isn't guilt. This is just me explaining how you lost and why it's okay. No, this is. like what she was doing with Father Gabriel. This was her trying to justify the bad that she has done. She desperately wants Rick to agree with her,
And he will not ever.
and he will not. And
Honestly, she missed her chance too, but of course it's a part of the story, right? But Michonne called it. You missed your chance. You should have shot us when we were sleeping.
right.
Because now it's never, you're never gonna be able to take us out now. And I think she ultimately knew that, but her wanting to give her villain speech, it always messes people up. Too much
Oh yeah.
talking. It always catches you.
Kind of it's kind of like putting the lasers on the sharks. You know.
Mhm.
But I really think because she is such a true believer, all right, I think there's this part of her, it hurts her to have Rick not agree. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And she needs him to say, yeah, you were right. You were justified. Because that's why she keeps going back to Gabriel. She wants both absolution and an admission that she is doing the right thing.
Mhm.
And she's not getting it. She didn't get it from Father Gabriel, and she's not getting it from Rick. And I think that's part of what tears her in half. The between the Jadis and the Anne.
Mhm.
And it's like I said, I didn't feel any additional sympathy for her. This is
Mhm.
someone who has open-eyed done bad things, acknowledged that she is doing bad things, and yet continues to try to find justifications for doing them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that she, like I said earlier, I do think she's a more complex character than I originally wanted to give her credit for, but I still think that doesn't make me feel bad for her. She got what she got.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways she got what she deserved.
Yeah. She actually did. And like I said, I knew going into this episode, I'm like, she's got to die. There is no way that they would let her live and be able to kind of close this story loop. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? She
Right.
has to die. She is the person that is walking around. She is pulling Rick's chain since the day she rescued him, quote unquote, you
Mhm.
know? So
Honestly, she's been yanking Rick's chain since the
from the
first day
minute
they
she
met.
met him, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like for this to end, like for them to move forward with the plans, with whatever, she had to be put out of the situation. And
Mhm.
to be fair, yes, he did have to, put her out of her misery, so to speak, but ultimately they didn't really kill her. She got bit. So
Right.
still he kind of can say he has a clean conscience in that way. He didn't just
Right.
cold-heartedly just kill her. So I guess he's kind of getting out of it, if that
Mhm.
makes, you know? I
Yeah.
and honestly, traditionally, when in books and stuff, I don't like when there's an easy out. I like the characters to make a hard choice, and Rick got an easy out. By
Mhm.
Jadis being, mauled, obviously she was gonna turn, so he put her out of her misery, which is what, he would
Right.
do. But I kind of would have appreciated him being, not that Michonne had, like, the best train of thought on this, but at least she knew what had to be done, and Rick was
Right.
like, "No," you know?
Although by this happening to her, and they had their little chat, she at least gave up where she was hiding the information.
Mhm, mhm.
And I don't believe that if her death had not been imminent by another means other than them,
She
I don't
wouldn't have
think
gave it up.
she wouldn't have given it up.
No, she wouldn't have.
So, this was of all the outcomes, this was the best possible outcome.
It was. I will give them that. It is the best outcome. I don't know. I just have to acknowledge that Rick's character got the easy out. So he has nothing to feel guilty or bad about. He tried.
Right. He did try.
Yeah.
God bless him. He tried.
To his
You know,
own detriment. Like, again, like, oh my God. Like, come on, people.
It's well, and in some ways too, it also, because of what she was saying and stuff, it did actually motivate them not just head back to Alexandria. Oops, sorry. Not just to head back to Alexandria, but to, they're like, okay, now we have a plan now. We're going to, go there, we're going to get this information, and then we're going to destroy the CRM, and then we're going to go home.
Right. Right. We got to take care of this business first because
Mhm.
clearly things are out of control. And I
Right.
think, originally Michelle ultimately said this when she was trying to talk him, back into reason. She's like, it's not your responsibility. They're not your responsibility. Fixing this CRM isn't your responsibility. But ultimately, she realizes, well, who else is going to do it?
Right. Exactly.
So I don't think she necessarily wants to fix it. She wants to help the city take control of it,
Yeah.
which is, I guess, a different way of fixing, not the same type of fixing Rick was talking about that may or may not happen over decades of time.
Right.
She's like, let's nip this in the bud immediately and move on.
Yeah, because again, I mean, there's the some parts of the CRM are worthy. I mean, the trying to save people, the bringing back, comforts, and for those in the city, it's not a terrible existence once they're there.
Hmm.
It's not, and they all acknowledge, they had to go through hell to get there. Um, but they had choice,
Right.
and and that's more than anything what everyone needs to have in a situation like this. If they want to join the CRM, that's great, that's fine, but it's got to be their choice.
Yeah, I agree. I do wonder though, like what is gonna so apparently, Jadis felt very strongly about once you hear this echelon thing, this, once you get to the plan, you'll understand, right?
Hmm.
And even Pearl's character kind of shifted once she heard what the plan is, right? What is it? So I'm wondering, I can't help but have a little nagging feeling, what will happen when Rick hears it? Is he going to try to backpedal a little bit, or will he hear it and say, "This shit is crazy"? No.
I'm kind of the opinion, if he had heard the briefing before seeing Michonne again,
Mhm.
he probably would have drank the Kool-Aid.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't think he will anymore.
No.
I don't think so.
I hope not. Because and honestly, so again, like we don't know. Nobody knows what's next. No one knows if this is the end or not. I hope they have something definitive for us next week. But I checked the runtime on next week's episode, and I think it's like 45 to 47 minutes, according to a couple of articles I saw. So it's
Hmm.
not an extraordinarily long episode. Um, so what can you do in 47 minutes?
Well,
What
you
needs
blow
to
some shit up.
happen?
I mean, you can blow some shit up.
Yeah. Um, and I do feel like they could tie it up in 47 minutes. You might not get every I dotted and every T crossed, but maybe you don't need to.
Right.
But I don't know, I'm really curious now because they've got a lot to do in one episode. And then we still, on our wish list, right? If this is
Hmm.
supposed to be the end, as we keep getting indicators they will see him again. He's trying to pick up something for RJ. Please don't call him Junior, no one does.
Right.
They're bringing back gifts and stuff. The plan is to see the children. We want the reunion, right?
Hmm.
So they
Right.
have to do what they need to do with the CRM, and they need to get all the way back home and see their kids, which
Hmm.
they're tracking back to go take care of the CRM. So they are going away from Virginia.
Right.
Um, So I don't know. I'm curious to see. Maybe we'll get a time jump. I'm really trying to figure out how they can make all these things happen in 47 minutes.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna be real truthful. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I'm none of us know. I think everyone's kind of scratching their heads right now. And this show has done a spectacular job keeping the secrets under wrap. Like no one talked about Father Gabriel. No one. There was
right.
no leak.
And
So,
honestly, I'm rather impressed by that. If you really want to be truthful.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too. And no one is spoiling that last episode. Nobody. I haven't seen anything. So, of course, all of us are kind of having our own guesses, right? But no one is saying, I saw the last episode. No one is waving that flag around.
Right.
So I don't know how they managed to keep the lid on this, but they did.
You know, and it wasn't just like he didn't do just a voiceover. You know what I mean? He was a significant part of this episode.
Yeah.
So he had to have been on set for a while.
Oh, yeah. To do all of these scenes. Absolutely. He was.
Hmm.
And no
So
one
yeah,
knew.
and that was impressive.
Yeah.
So good on them. And I realize they have a lot to wrap up for next week, but I'm going to be real truthful. I'm not super worried about it.
Me either, because they've done amazing things this season,
Hmm.
things that none of us would have guessed would have happened, but everything is cohesive. Everything makes sense.
Yeah.
Uh, because
And
honestly, from episode to episode, we just don't know we just didn't know.
right. And they've had these gentle little callbacks that have been just beautiful little touches.
Mm-hmm.
And and like you said, no one calls him Junior.
Mm-hmm.
And just these little things that have been just really nicely done. And even that final scene with the two of them, when Rick goes down goes down on
Oh,
his
that was
knees,
so cute.
with the
Oh,
ring that Father Gabriel had found, you
yeah.
know, and then she leans down, and then she kneels down with him.
Oh,
And I
that was
mean,
so
it was just
cute.
this, it was a really good moment. I mean, it made sense. It wasn't strained. It didn't make me want to groan. Which,
No, because they know they're about to do something really, really dangerous.
oh yeah,
And he's like, I need to let this woman know exactly how I feel about her now because there's no other time. There's
right.
no other time.
And then, and although they really have to be kind of wondering, well, how did she know about the ring? How did, the Father Gabriel thing, yada yada. That has to kind of been eating a little bit at Rick, because that means she's been allowing herself to go back to the community he desperately wants to just even make sure is okay. And she knows.
Yeah,
She knows what's going on in the community.
right. I'm guessing he probably just isn't thinking about it in this moment because
Right.
everything is so crazy, but they're probably going to think about that.
Hmm.
And on the flip side of that, though, Father Gabriel has kept his mouth shut about her.
Yeah.
He has not told his own community, his own inner circle,
His own
anything.
wife.
Right. I'm like, wow, he kept Jadis a secret for years,
Hmm.
which,
For the whole time Rick has been gone.
yeah, which I don't know how I feel about exactly. How about it? I feel that's
As
weird.
as a as a priest, and she's coming to him as in confession.
It's not confession, though.
I know, but that's what he's looking at it as.
Is he though? I
Yeah.
mean, that cringe ass kiss came out of nowhere.
Yeah, except he pushed her
He
away.
did. But I'm like, what the hell is that? What's happening? What is
Yeah.
happening?
I think he was looking at this as, confession, trying to help a lost soul and trying to make up for, the things that he feels that he's done.
Mm,
And, because, he said, I've hurt people. I've made mistakes.
yeah.
And he feels that she was one of his mistakes, that she left because of him. He wasn't there enough for her, which really wasn't true. Um, but he still feels the weight of that,
Definitely.
and he's trying to bring back what he feels is a lost lamb back into the family, back into the fold.
You know,
So
I kind of understand that, but I don't understand that. Like, he doesn't have to tell everyone. Like you said, why wouldn't you tell the one person you're closest with? You have a covenant with them, don't you?
yeah,
That should take precedence over everything except maybe directly with God himself.
right. So
I I don't know.
I mean, if you think about Father Gabriel's character, it's not really out of character for him either.
No, it's not. But how would his people look at him if they found out that he kept that secret from them for so long?
Yeah, but at the same time, there's the fact that he has no idea that she belongs to the CRM. He has no idea the things that she's honestly done.
Wait for Rick to come back and tell him where he's been and what
Oh yeah,
happened to him.
oh yeah, and then it's all gonna fit into
He's
it.
gonna be so pissed off.
Yeah,
Like, can you believe this chick has been coming here and is feeling sad for herself and questioning her life choices and trying to be, I don't know, whatever he thinks in his mind Jadis is trying to be or Anne is trying to be. And the whole time,
yeah,
Rick is like basically prisoner.
yeah.
Like he's gotta, oh my God, what a
I mean,
mess.
absolutely. It does make me kind of wonder. Um, I've heard that there might be a small tie-in at the end with the Book of Carol at the end of this episode.
Really?
At the end of the next episode, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's just if they're teasing at a teaser for the next Daryl Dixon episode, or if it's actually some kind of we find out who that person was, so and so's returned, and it is Rick, um, or what. But yeah, I've heard rumors that there's going to be some kind of at the very end a tie-in with the Book of Carol.
Interesting.
So could be true, might be nothing. Who knows? Then
Yeah, it's
again,
hard to tell.
like I said, none of us saw Father Gabriel coming.
Hmm.
So it's very possible, that we might get a little one-off with Carol.
Yeah. That is so crazy. Like, that completely caught everyone off guard. I
Yeah,
saw him, I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it." It was actually very smart, the way
yeah.
they utilized him to kind of close out Jadis's story,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And even, like, at the end, she gets her little they even take time to make her a grave
Yeah, I
with
know.
the
Aren't
A
they?
on it for Anne.
Yeah, aren't we special? Sorry.
I mean, even she gets a proper send off, I guess. Although I wouldn't have hated if she turned into a walker. I wouldn't have hated it. I'm just saying. I
Okay.
don't know. But the
Noted.
last scene is them, the helicopter coming. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Off they go, back into danger.
I'm just
It's
wondering if Rick can pull this off.
I thought about that. I'm like, how crazy is that? So you are the one, well, he knew where the checkpoint was, so it will
Yeah,
make sense for him to make his way to the checkpoint, right?
right.
Um, but they'd have to really buy everything he serves up immediately and give him that briefing. Still want to give him General Beale still want to give him that briefing without any further questions.
True. But they have no idea that he's encountered Jadis or anything else.
No, they don't. And she's just disappeared.
Right. She's just gone.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens, like, the instant they get back to the CRM, like, how
Mhm.
they're received. "Oh my gosh," is Pearl gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, you're back. You're alive."
You know, in a way, I think she has been using Rick to replace her lost person.
Okay. Mhm.
So yeah, I think she's gonna be really happy to see him, not so happy to see Michonne.
Oh, she's probably gonna be like, "Why you bring her back here?" I mean, is he gonna admit that they, like, know each other? Is it still gonna be a secret? Probably a secret. I don't know. Is she gonna be able to figure it out? I
You
mean,
know,
she's not a dumb character, you know?
she's not. And at the beginning, when Michonne first came back, I can see them being able to keep it as how they were able to keep it a secret because in a lot of ways they were strangers to each other.
I know, but now that they've reconnected,
Right. Where they fight well together,
yes.
they're anticipating each other and
Look, they're
yeah.
giving each other that's the eye, the
Yeah.
messaging with the eyes. You're like, "Oh my god." They're having a whole ass conversation without saying anything.
Oh yeah. The two of them are on the same page.
Yeah.
And you don't develop that kind of relationship from, a weekend trek.
No, you do not. They're gonna have to hide that really well or just not really again, try to not come into contact with each other publicly because it's gonna be obvious, I think.
Well, we've pretty much figured, we've already established that Michonne is not an actress, or well, she
She
is,
is not. She
but her
cannot.
character is not.
No, she is not. She couldn't even do the simple things that Rick asked her to hide herself,
Right.
breaking the record, doing this, doing that.
You know,
Like, you just could not act like you got control of everything.
right. Carol, she is not.
Yeah, cannot blend like Carol, that is for
No,
sure.
she's not an infiltrator.
Right.
She doesn't blend.
No, she's a kick ass and take
Yeah.
names and sort it out later kind of lady. Like,
Well, and again, it's not that Carol hasn't grown into this really strong leader character, but she can blend when she needs to.
she can. She definitely can. And that's actually a really good skill set to have,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, kind of like when the 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 one I keep going back to is when they were having the Kingdom Festival, and her and her son got hijacked by those highwaymen basically.
Mhm.
Oh no, please don't wiped them all out. You know
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
they had no. I mean, and they didn't. You know, she takes advantage of people underestimating her.
Yeah, she does. Honestly, but she's got that look about her as well that's easy. She's this light in stature,
Yeah,
white woman who can look timid.
exactly.
She's got this
She's
she's
got
got
the
the
housewife.
yeah, she's got the exterior to go along with people being easily thinking to overlook her,
Hmm.
you
And
know.
Michonne kind of looks a little bit like an Amazon. You know.
Yeah, she's bold. Come on, she's beautiful.
Oh yeah,
She's got the hair. She looks like a warrior.
yeah. Oh, I'm not disagreeing one little bit.
Yeah, and so
You
she's
know.
kinda like it's hard for her to, like, not stand out. And
Right.
then her personality, people just look at her like, "What's she got going on over there?" You know? I get it.
Yeah.
She'd have to really, really try very hard to blend, and she's just not very good at it.
Right. So yeah, I'm in. Pearl is one, she drank the Kool-Aid, but she's also got she's focused on Rick. I'm not saying she has romantic feelings towards him, but there is a possessive feeling she has for him.
Yeah,
And
there's something.
I think that's part of the reason she does not like Michonne. Um because she does feel possessive of him. And I don't, honestly, I don't think it's romantic. I think it's just he's her lifeline in a certain way. He's been with her since the beginning when she was fighting the system. They were fighting the system together.
I mean, not only that, she basically dragged his ass along for a
Right.
while, right?
Yeah.
So she
So
feels some responsibility about him,
mhm,
and she doesn't feel that toward Michonne.
right. Like I said, I don't think it's romantic. I think it's more like a toddler. I pissed on it, it's mine.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
it's not that I want it. I just don't want you to have it. You know,
Right? I get it. Oh, did you want to talk about the stone zombie right quick? So we've seen another kind of zombie in this
yeah.
episode.
But I did kind of like because apparently they were near like Yellowstone or something.
Yeah.
And the explanation I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it, because when bone does come in contact with the certain, calcium pools, that does
Mhm.
actually happen. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm good with this one. You know,
Yeah, it was still kind of cool to see something different, right?
oh
Like
yeah,
even if it didn't have sinister, reasons for
right.
being there.
I think that's part of the reason I liked it.
Mhm.
It wasn't like, well, this is weird.
Mhm.
This is out of character.
Mhm.
They weren't filled with acid. You know,
No. But they were taken aback. They're like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?
right?
Like what the hell is going on?" He's like, "I'll break it, you stab it."
Yeah. And again, there was another. I mean, in a unknown situation, the two of them, were able to quickly adapt and work together.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's nice to see the two of them be a team again.
Oh yeah. I mean, they are honestly, after them coming back together and then having their very brief honeymoon period, they are locked in. They are locked in step like they were never apart. It came back together so quickly.
Well, and the smiles and stuff between the two of them, the gentle looks between the two of them, even when the other one's not looking.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Look,
You
even
know?
when they disagree, they still have this kind look on their faces about them,
Yeah,
Like she doesn't look like she wants to murder him anymore.
I know, it's kind of nice. I'm sure he appreciates it too. Yeah,
Yeah, like, I don't want to kill you anymore. Yeah, we don't agree, but it's fine.
that's right. We could agree to disagree on some things. I'm not going to murder you in your sleep tonight.
Exactly. It's back to regular couple stuff.
That's right. Pancakes it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I cannot like say enough about how much I'm enjoying this show, this season. It's wow, I have not felt this way about this show since I don't know, a long time, a very long time
Yeah.
before the spinoffs started happening.
And it's the good writing.
Mhm.
I mean, straight up, man, it's the writing. It's a good premise. It's a good, it's good.
The writing is spectacular, and Denai and Andy are really, like, flexing their acting muscles as well. They're
Hmm.
not phoning it in.
Oh no, they
They
are
are putting
absolutely not.
forth the effort, and it shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So,
I'm not even caring that every single new person we meet dies.
well, I mean, even some old characters that we know are dying too. So,
I mean, honestly, you know what? Also, I think another good reason why it was time for Jadis to go is because we haven't had a major character death in this world since Rosita. She was the last major character death.
well, but I mean, if you think about it, it's mostly because, well, on Daryl Dixon, it's Daryl Dixon.
Yeah.
There's, we've got the nun, and her son, but really they're not. They're whatever. Um, on Dead City, it's Negan and Maggie who are they can't kill off either one of them at this point.
I know, but that's why it's due. It's like it's turning into this world where no one dies. Like everyone's
People
safe.
are, I mean, people are dying, but the main characters are living
Right.
because instead of having an ensemble cast, we're focusing in on one or two individuals.
Right, which
So
is a different approach, but I feel like it was I don't know, that's I guess kind of what this show is doing is giving us some flashback to the original style of this show, right?
mm,
Anyone can get it, right? We used to think anyone could die in the early
right,
days.
and a
But
lot of
now
times they did. You know,
yeah. Yeah, and now, especially since they've been trying to slim down and focus on these other people, it's like and even the final season, not as many people died as I thought should have died. A lot of people made it out.
right?
Um, so it was due. It was due, and it made sense for the plot that she died.
Oh yeah, she's a loose end that needed to be tied up one way or the other.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
the thing of it is even if, let's say, Jadis decided I'm Anne, the fact is this woman has she doesn't even flip flop. She does this complete transformation over and over again. We saw it at least twice on the Walking Dead, and then we saw her again on Fear the Walking Dead in this new affirmation of herself, and then we
Mhm.
see this different side with Father Gabriel that she's showing to Rick. So this is not a woman who you can trust, because whenever she is in whatever persona, it is sincere.
Oh, yeah.
She is sincerely in that role. And this is not as someone that, even if Rick and Michonne had been able to convince her, oh yeah, I'm on your side, I'm going to help you save Alexandria. As soon as she was back with the CRM, she would have flipped back to being Jadis again.
Yeah, she was a absolute 100% not trustworthy person. Like, you
Mhm.
cannot trust anything coming out of her mouth. Not really. She might believe it in that moment when she's saying it.
Yeah. And the thing of it is she could have just let it go. They came back, she was there with them, they saw the helicopter, yada yada. She could have just let it go, but
But
she
she
couldn't.
couldn't. Yeah, for whatever reason, she just could not let it go.
She couldn't let it go.
And she could have. That was a choice.
Yeah,
This was a choice, and now you're dead because she sure should have rolled with the punches like everyone else. Oh man, they died. Oh well, she could have just keep it moving.
yeah. And it's not like, and at that point, if Rick had gone home under those circumstances, he wasn't coming after the CRM.
Hmm.
He wanted to see his family. That's what his focus was on. But
Yeah,
James couldn't let it go.
correct.
So
Sh-
for all the things that she said to Father Gabriel, the fact is, even if she had a mild suspicion that Rick might have, you know, um, gotten away, who cares? Because here's the thing. She was willing to let Michonne go. No, and Michonne knowing where the CRM is and everything else. She was okay with letting her go.
She was
She knew about the boat. She didn't try to stop it. It was just Rick.
right.
You
So
know,
weird. I mean, she just had some kind of weird infatuation with him.
yeah. So if she would have let him go, she could have gone back. She could have gone on with her life. She could destroy the Alexandria file and just moved on.
Yeah,
But she
because
couldn't
Rick was
let it
not
go.
checking to come back there. He would have not given them a second thought if he had got
Exactly.
home.
The only reason that right now that Rick is focused on focused on the CRM is because there is now a threat to Alexandria because of Jadis.
Right, they had no choice but to go back and try to find that evidence and destroy it. But
Exactly.
now since they're there, well, they might as well take care of other business as well since they're there anyway. and it's the right thing to do now. It's like
Mhm.
before Michonne wasn't really focused on that. She was focused on her own family, but
Right,
now it's like it's bigger than that now. And it's kind of like you now what's it's like once what is it? Once the top is off, you can't close it, right?
right. Once the milk is out of the, been spilled, you can't put it back in,
Exactly.
you
So
know?
now they have to deal with it.
Yeah. And Jadis is just gonna have to, go to the grave knowing, the downfall of the CRM was all my fault,
I
and it
know.
is.
It
It is on
is.
it's on her at this point.
Yeah,
Because if she had just let it go, but she couldn't. And like I said, it does if she was willing to let Michonne go, then why wasn't she willing to let Rick go?
she's a weirdo and she has to have her way.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not like Rick and Michonne hadn't gotten away clean because no one else at the CRM gave it a second thought.
No, they sure let it go. They said,
It was
"Oh, that building is destroyed.
yeah,
The helicopter went down."
yeah, they
They're
destroyed the helicopter.
Yeah,
It's case closed. They're done. And they don't even know why Jadis left. She checked out on personal time, which she has obviously done at least once a year. You know,
exactly. And I mean, to be fair, the CRM would be correct in their thinking because who would think they would jump out of the plane for no reason or out of the helicopter for no reason?
exactly. You have to be a crazy person. Michelle was feeling a little crazy about that.
Right. So if no one jumps out like you're not supposed to, then
Right.
everyone would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, Jada's being like she could not let him go. And I don't know if it's because she brought him in and felt responsible. I don't know if it was because of this she wanted to keep some connection to Alexandria, which she desperately obviously wanted.
Oh no, she had a forever crush on him.
There's that too.
Yeah.
She's gotten him naked more than once against his will.
She has. She had a Oh my gosh. So have you ever seen 3.5 Men? That show with Charlie Sheen?
No, I haven't.
Well, she's the character Rose, who is the forever stalker who always wants him no matter how much he shits on her. He's talked so bad to her and she will not leave him alone. That is Jadis and Rick. Like
Yeah.
she will not leave him alone
No.
until she dies.
And now she can't. No,
Yeah.
she just can't follow him anymore. And he killed her as a walker, so still can't follow him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's her motivations were always suspect. And again, she desperately wanted Rick's approval. She throughout his stay there in Alexander or in with the CRM, she kept trying to convince him this is for the best. It's for the best. Look at all the great things here. It's for the best.
Which is kind of weird in itself. Like, why do you care? Why are you trying to convince him so badly if you've drank the Kool-Aid and you believe it? So
Right.
why are you so insistent? It's weird. It's always weird. Like, what do you care? Let him
Oh
get
yeah.
himself killed. You tried.
Yeah. But she's always gone, and when she couldn't get him to see her way, she just bludgeoned him with something. I'll kill out everyone in Alexandria if you don't do what I say. A weird, twisted kind of obsession love thing.
Yeah, she is really yeah, she's a strange bird. And yeah, I'm kind of glad she's gone.
Yeah,
Bye.
I mean, even when we saw her in um, the world beyond, I mean, she was still weird there. Yeah, everyone there thought she was kind of weird. There's actually some people over at the on the world beyond side would probably be happy to hear that she has died. You know.
I mean, she even tried to, like, take Felix under her wing or something, and that
Mhm.
backfired. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, like I said, she's always been this outlier.
Yeah, not Felix. What was his name? What was the kid's name? What was his
Oh, the
name?
the corduroy kid.
No, the kid, the big kid that went and, uh, joined the CRM. He was doing
Oh,
trash duty. Him. What's
oh
his
yeah,
name?
Don't you really want me to try to remember
Yeah,
his?
I don't know, but it's not Felix, y'all. I said the wrong name. I can't remember what the kid's name is right now. Felix was the I don't know. I don't remember these characters right now. Don't give me a lie. I don't know.
I mean, I remember Corduroy Kid.
Let me look it up right fast.
You
I'm
know,
like, oh my gosh.
and there's the two sisters. I don't remember their names.
Yeah,
It's
that show, we trashed that show so bad.
it was a show
It
worth
was
or
awful.
it was a show worth forgetting. You know,
Silas. There we go. That's his name, Silas.
all right.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Felix was the older adult male who was with them all the
Mhm.
time. So yeah, Silas became like a soldier and stuff. So mm,
Not by choice.
not by choice, but she thought, you know, hey, I was you, you're me, kind of thing, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly. But that was a long
But him
time
being,
ago.
but again, him being the odd man out, just like she had always been.
Mm-hmm.
I did think it was kind of neat that they did flashbacks to her um, when she was an actual artist, to the pictures that she had painted.
Yeah, and then for her to say, "Oh, I wanted to die an artist" or whatever.
Yeah, I wish I had died an artist.
Yeah, which is another really strange thing to say, but I guess when you're about to die, if you could have it any way, that would have been how she would have wanted it, I guess.
When you look
Much
back at
simpler.
yeah, when you look back at the regrets of your life, well,
Mhm.
and because of again what she was saying to Father Gabriel, she told them that she had done bad things. When you are dying, there's probably some clarity, and it would have been simpler if she had died an artist without knowing doing the things that she had done, knowing the things she has known. It probably would have been better for her.
Yeah, and and again, though, it's weird because, yeah, I'm sure she would have preferred that, but she had no guilt over anything she's done. Not
Mm.
really. She always
No.
thought she was doing what she needed to do that was in the best interest of everyone, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah. But I mean, she thought that when she was leading the trash can people around, and man, those people were weird.
Yeah, that whole thing. That whole thing. God.
She's always, I mean, no matter what she has done, she has always thought that she has done the right thing. And it never once occurred to her, you know, I once had these followers and I had them do all sorts of weird crap. And, I thought that was the right thing. She was, she was as dedicated to that when it was happening as she is to the CRM.
Yeah.
So, really there's, she might have had, the conviction of herself, but at the same time, I think somewhere deep down inside, she probably knew that it was wrong, or she wouldn't have kept going back to Father Gabriel.
I agree. I agree. So, honestly, I think this show did a good job with her exit.
Yeah,
I think the actress, got a good send off.
especially
And
for a bad guy.
yeah,
She
yeah,
got
she
a send off for a bad guy.
absolutely. And I think, yeah, it's all good. And thanks for being on the show for so long. I think, Jadis was an interesting character.
Yeah,
We got a lot of talk out of her weirdness. Her
yeah.
character
Like you said, I mean, I've always liked Jadis's character. I just didn't like her character.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you don't have to like everyone on the show to like their character.
Right.
So some people you're not supposed to like.
And she's one of them.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it's weird that she got the echelon thing because she's not that high up. She's just a officer still, right? She's higher, but she's not like
No,
she's
but
just
she's at least on par with Pearl.
okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see what happens next week in the finale. Now, it will be interesting to see if it's a series finale or a season finale.
And we may not know for a while.
I know, we might not. Lord have mercy. How interesting. Ugh. Okay, are we done, Lisa?
I think we are done.
Okay, well, it has been a wonderful conversation. We had a good time today. Thank you guys for listening to the entire episode. We appreciate you for doing that. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share with other TWDU fans. And we will catch you guys next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.